Hey guys, it's me, Rose Quartz. Welcome back to my podcast where I read questions and relatable comments and chat and, be weird. If you listened to my last one, I said I was going to do relatable posts. So, here it goes. And this one, it's funny because it's actually very, very true and happens to me so much. And I'm lowering my voice because I'm out in my living room right now. And not in my room recording like I usually do. That awkward moment when you're left with someone you just met. Just like when your parents leave you, hey, this kid seems nice. Hope you have fun with them, and they just leave you there. They just leave you. Especially when you go to camps. You're just left with that one person and you just don't know them, so it's awkward. When I say there's nothing to eat, when I mean there's nothing you like to eat. Oh, this is boring, you guys. We all can admit that. Well, there's your relatable comments for the day. Let's finish this questions. I left off at the hallucination one. Okay, this is part 2. I should probably change the title. Have you ever sleepwalked? If you have, where did you wake up? I don't sleepwalk. So I've always woken up in different poses. 17. If you had a nickel for every time you found a totally useless object, and the next day you somehow managed to have lost it, how much money would you have? $10. Found a lot of useless objects, and then I lose it the next day. When your neighbor... Okay. 18. When your neighbor who yesterday said she hated you gave you homemade candy, would you A, have slammed the door and continue doing your stuff, B, scream and threaten to call 911, or C, eat it all and wait for the candy to give you superpowers? I have to say slam the door and continue doing what I was doing. 19. If you had a cream pie in your hand and suddenly you see your enemy, what would you do with the pie? Pie them in the face. Who wouldn't? I hate pie, so there's an alternative. 20. A guy in a lamb suit says, hey, they're coming, and passes out while you're in a mall. What would you do? What would you ask, do, or say to him? Just kind of stand there, take a photo of him, and then write something on it, post it to social media, and then I'd bend down and say, who's coming? But then he's passed out, so there you go. Let's see if I have any comments. Oh, yep, no one's here. 21. When you get a magic wand from a comment, would you suddenly mess up? Wait, what? When you get a magic wand from a comet, would you suddenly mess up? I'm so confused. 22. Have you ever imagined that you were the star of your very own show on TV? Yes. Instead of on a podcast, I'd love to be on a TV show with actual people and being loud and obnoxious with my friends, because that's what we actually do. 23. Have you ever tried to walk up and down stairs with your eyes closed or walking backwards? Try at your own risk. That's what you do when you're bored, right? You're like, hey, I wonder what happened, and then you trip and you fall. Yes, I walk upstairs with my eyes closed sometimes. Hey, I know my house pretty well, and I think there's an extra step, and then I just completely fall. And that's a mistake. 24. What would you do when suddenly a comet hits a building? I would freak out. A comet just hit a building. People are in there. I'd freak out. I'd freak out. I mean, we don't freak out. 25. Have you ever regretted something as so bad? If yes, what it is? Here's a story. I'll lie in bed during nighttime and then I'll think of something and then I'll regret that because I embarrassed myself. I'm not gonna share I regret sometimes being too loud and obnoxious during a class and like talking about jokes with friends and it's really quiet. We think no one can hear us, but then some people can. We think about that and we start to like freak out. That's something I regret, not being more quiet. And this is a part 2 of it, of the book. Like, it's literally a chapter 2 in it. Okay, so question 1: have you ever watched Toy Story or The Shaggy Dog? Have you tried talking to pets? I talk with my pets when I'm lonely. Yep. That's not blackmail or dirt on me. I mean, not everyone knows that. 2: if you can make a new type of food, how many people... If you could make a new type of food, how many people do you think would dislike it? What's the type of food? I'd create a type of food that was extremely healthy for you, but it sounded like a junk food, and it looked like junk food. Okay, I'd create a junk food, but it would work opposite, and it would make you healthy and strong and not weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know. 3: imagine if you were walking home when suddenly a magic door / portal appeared and you went through it. What do you think it would take you? Some magical place where I die, like under 5 seconds, because you don't know what's dangerous. Or to heaven or hell, one of those things, right? I got distracted and I just started blabbing on like a boring person like I always do. 4: have you ever heard of, drumroll, bacon pie? No, that's across the line, man. I have never heard of bacon pie, and actually I have now. 5: and I don't like it. How do you think bacon pie tastes and smells? I would throw up if I had to eat that because my imagination is bacon pie. It's literally just bacon and crust. Pie crust. So it's like, I think it would taste pretty good and smell pretty good, but it still sounds kind of wrong. Number 7, do you think I'm asking too much bacon pie questions? Yes. 8, have you ever had 8, what's a homemade grape candy offers you some candy? This book's weird now. I would not eat that, because safety first, kids, If someone met... Okay, number 9. If you somehow met with a robot unicorn from the game Robot Unicorn Attack, what would you do? It depends if it's good or bad, because I haven't played that game yet. Stand there awkwardly and like, hey, dude, what's up? And then I die, probably, because it's a robot. Number 10, how many times have you blamed an innocent person on a fart comment? On a fart you committed it? Never. I just sit there awkwardly and hope no one heard. When your little innocent cousin says someone murdered my candy bar, what do you say to him? R.I.P. candy. R.I.P. candy bar. Or, who did it, and then find it, and then commit them of treason or murder, or I don't know. You're little kids, 12. Who would be the most likely person to risk their life for a stuffed unicorn? No one. No one that I know. Well, yeah, no one that I would know would ever do that. We're not mature, but, we won't risk our life for a stuffed unicorn. 13. Have you heard my best friend scream? That's a weird one. But if I asked you guys that, I would hope not. If you ever heard my best friend scream, you'd be absolutely terrified. We all have high-pitched screams, even the guys. I'm going to skip 14. Number 15. Have you ever had short and anesthesia? Short anesthesia, when someone goes up and has gone upstairs to get something but forgets what they're doing, and they come back and they realize what they were doing, like short-term memory. Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Like, my family and I will put the milk in the pantry because we're blacked out. And I'm like, hey, and I walk to go put the recycle out, and I'll walk to go do something, and I'll turn around and go, what was I doing again? And then I'll have to ask my parents, and then we have to figure out, and it's just, like, very long and awkward, because then it comes back to me, like, a few minutes later, and then I have to get out of my bed because I'm writing, and then I have to get up, and I have to walk downstairs, and I have to do it, because I remembered. And that especially happened with me when I was setting up to record, oh gosh, I can't remember, collabs with my friends. I would be running around getting everything, and then I like, wait, what was I gonna get? And then I'm finishing setting up, and I look over at the stand, and I go, right, the camera, and I feel so stupid. And I record down in my living room where it is right now because it's super bright and it's perfect setting. It's a perfect setting. 16, remember the cream... God, no. 17, you haven't finished your work. Okay, no. 18, if you and your friends were on an Oreo planet with people with Oreos for heads and Oreo buildings, what would you and your friends do? We try so hard not to kill them because they're Oreos, and Oreos are good, and so we'd suffer because we're good. Well, we'd probably kill them and eat them. Well, that'd be cannibalism. We'd sit there and wish we were never on that planet because we really, really want the Oreos. We'd just sit there and go, but I want the Oreo. And I'd be like, we're good people. We can't do this. We can't kill them. And then our other friend would come by, and then he would, like, devour the things, and we'd feel, like, absolutely petrified. Like, no, not Mr. Oreo, man. And we look at each other and we go, like, wait, but they're Oreos. Okay, me blabbing on again. Number 19. How many times have you ever failed on painting a canvas? A lot of times, and this will be the last question. Will you get hungry if I told you that somewhere on Earth Will you get hungry if I told you that somewhere on Earth the bacon truck was driving around a city block cooking delicious sizzling bacon? I mean, no, not really. I wouldn't. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for listening to my very short podcast. Last time I cut it off by accident a bit too early. If you want me to do more of these, I will, and I will probably try and do a live podcast for you guys. Bye, and thanks for listening again. This is Course. Bye. I gotta stop making these outros so long. I gotta figure something out. You guys should help me. Before I actually end this, I wanted to say I'm going to call you guys my little gems now, since it's Rose Quartz, as on Wattpad. So I'm going to call you my little gems now, and I hope you guys enjoy. Bye! If I can hit the button. Bye, guys.